This is Peter Lau. Today is Tuesday, December 3rd. I'm at 1102 Cloverhill Rd, Altadena, California. I'll be answering through the cleanout located at the front side of the house. So this cleanout's located at the front side of the planter area. Here's the cap for the cleanout. In a brief moment, we will be transitioning to the end of the sewer line, as that provides the clearest video. We're about 110 feet into the main sewer line, where it ties in with the city sewer. We're noted at a depth of 7 feet. I'll be making my way back towards the access point. So, currently I'm at the connection between the property and the city sewer connection. And the reason why I scope out all the way to the city sewer is because as the homeowner, you're responsible for a certain portion of the sewer line. And that's typically the connection up until it meets with the city. In other words, the city will take responsibility for the line that runs parallel with the street. And then at any point before that connection, it's typically on the homeowner. In case there's any issues with the line, the homeowner will have to pay for that. So currently what you're seeing on the screen, that's the city sewer connection. You're seeing a lot of water flowing through that line, and that's because if the other houses on the block are on the sewer system, they'll have a similar setup. Their water is going to drain out to this city sewer line, and as I pull back, working my way back from the saddle, you'll notice that there is a little bit of water running. It's been about 2 minutes since I've turned off the kitchen sink, but I had the kitchen sink running for the entire time I was doing the inspection. I like to run water prior and during to check for a few things. I want to make sure that if there's any stagnant water in the line, that could be an issue with potential sloping. So what I am looking out for in this type of piping material, looking out for offsets, cracks, roots, just anything else that may cause complications to the sewer line, I'll be looking out for. And this is a good example of what an offset looks like. So this is typically due to earthquakes, heavy construction, things of that nature. The joints of the clay piping will shift due to vibrations in the ground, and then that allows for moisture to seep out of the joint. And if you have vegetation growing in close proximity to the sewer line, that's typically why you get roots growing into this type of material. So offsets are relatively normal to see within the clay. The distance indicator is on the bottom left-hand side of the screen, so with about 92 feet remaining, and just more offsets within the line. So you'll notice that the water that was ran, it's almost completely drained out of the line now. We're just seeing the residual water flow. Still working my way back from clay piping. And as we run into any kind of root intrusion or cracks, I'll slow down and do further commentary on that. And we're just seeing some fecal matter within the line that'll wash away with flush away with regular water usage. Working my way up a downturn. So we have transitioned materials. We went from clay piping, which is closer to the city side, to ABS. And ABS is a good indication that there's been some work done to the sewer line, as this type of material is not indicated by the year that the property was built. And what I'm looking out for in this type of material, typically looking out for any kind of stagnant water. ABS is flexible in nature due to its plastic. Basically, it's plastic pipe. So if the dirt's not compacted properly when this type of line is put in, you might get a negative slope, which is where water will stagnate, and then debris and sediment can collect where that water is. We're not seeing any instance of that here. I'm just describing what I'm looking out for. And once again, transitioning to clay. So you'll notice that the ABS, the pipe coloring is black on the interior side as well as the exterior, and with clay it's going to be reddish orange. and I'm going to be taking a moment here to clear up the camera before I resume the video. So this is the first instance of root intrusion that we've seen within the line. And roots, again, they grow into the joints of the clay. As long as they grow into the joints, it typically doesn't cause any residual damage. And again, the reason why they're able to grow into the joints is because of those offsets. And this is another reason why I like to run water. I want to make sure that the root intrusion within the line isn't causing complete blockage of water flow. And we will be seeing more debris buildup and root intrusion in just a moment. And here we're starting to see, so there's roots, and then there's also debris that gets caught onto those roots. So at about 40 feet to about 35 feet, this is where we have the largest concentration of roots. Again, not causing any blockages at the present time of inspection. However, with this amount of debris and root intrusion, I would recommend a hydrojet, which is a pressure washing of the line from the interior side. It uses a high water pressure system, goes up to about 2,700 psi, and then that'll cut right through the roots and debris and flush it out towards the city. So one of the things with root intrusion is that typically it's a reoccurring issue. So if you have roots at any point within the sewer line, typically it'll grow back in. As roots are a living, growing thing. So you have to think of it as maintenance. And if you're noticing slow drainage throughout the entire house, it could be because there's root intrusion further down the line that's causing an obstruction of water flow. With about 20 feet remaining, still working our way back from clay piping. So to summarize, we do have a bit of root intrusion within the line. I'll have the recommendations on the written report. We have the offsets that are observed. We have two different types of piping materials. So there's clay and ABS. Now I'm working my way out the access. Bit of lens flare as the camera head's dangling. And this concludes the inspection of the main sewer line. If you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to call, text, or email me. Thank you.